Hey everybody, what's up guys? I am here with Ryan
Hey, what's up, everybody?
and we're going to be just chatting with y'all and we're going to be I'm going to be doing some music writing and Ryan is going to be my co-streamer today. I got him over on Discord. Um, we got Shadow Fox already in the chat. Glad you're doing well. Brandon must be in the chat because there were some unhinged half trees sent that I did not send, so I'm glad you're here, Brandon.
I will send the hoot nanny. There it
Yes,
is.
send in the
Bam.
SS Hootenanny. There it is. I freaking love that emote. That's like the best we've ever.
I know. I
It's
love
so
it.
good. All
When
right.
I
Oh,
saw
and
the
the
wing,
flying Hootenanny, of course.
yeah,
Yes.
I immediately thought of in like the Super Mario games with the flying ships and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Um,
Oh, I love it.
that's sweet. Let's see here. Um, let's go to this one. Score details. Name this one regular rune pen, and this is what we're gonna be doing today. Cool. Is that Ryan? That is Ryan, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, how's it going?
We got Ryan in with us
Hope all's
today.
well. Hope
I
all
don't
is
know
well.
what Brandon's up to today. He's usually got something or other going on. Let's see.
I know you guys are busy, but I know for sure that we all appreciate your guys' hard work and everything that you guys do.
Oh,
So,
I appreciate your hard work, man. You've been putting a lot into this community. We appreciate you as well.
no problem, man. We're all happy to help. So,
Absolutely. Let's trying to think of a way to make this music sound less sad.
yeah.
I change some instruments around here. It's going pretty good. That's good to hear, Brandon. Glad you're doing well. Also,
Absolutely.
Shadow Fox, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you got into the streaming chair yesterday. I know you've been kind of off and on with streaming and stuff. I'm glad you streamed yesterday. So that's good. It's always good to stream game development. I think it keeps you more on track with what you're doing. It's easier to push yourself to develop.
Absolutely. The motivation.
Yeah. No, before Brandon and I started streaming, we had a lot of trouble staying with it, and ran into some issues as far as like staying motivated and keeping a focus. But streaming forces us to be focused on the game for a straight 5 hours or whatever. Even if we have minor distractions,
Right.
we have to at least have the game as the main focus for however many hours, and we get community and all of you guys. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. 100% agreed.
So this is loud. Let's go to my audio settings. Can I go to my volume mixer and turn down Chrome? There we go. Now, hopefully you guys won't be completely a little bit.
This is actually my first time seeing someone put music into a game. I know that sounds silly, but it's
Hmm.
interesting to see the development behind it.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, it's really cool.
awesome. Yeah, no, I made it a point to, yeah, that's awesome, Shadow Fox. You're streaming your game and others are streaming it. Hey, Brandon has played your game. I have not. So maybe towards the end of this stream or one of our future streams, I know we've got a lot of streams going on this week and next week. So probably sometime this week or next week, I can sit down and play your game if you're willing to let me try it. Because Brandon's tried it. I have not tried your game, Shadow Fox. So if you want to put a link to the most recent uh, version, the most recent stable copy in our other games tab, I will definitely try that because I have not tried it yet. So I'm willing to give it a shot. So yeah. But as far as what you were saying, Ryan, yeah, as soon as we started, I made it a point to try to There's that, Shadow Fox. If you just put that in the other games tab, I'll go grab it. Unless you want to message me directly, you can also do that from the Unhinged Discord as well. You can like right click me, I think, and send me a message that way. I'm pretty sure. I'm Mr. Tuwanda on there. Type that out for you. Anyway, yeah, I made it a point to try to get rid of all the bass sounds. Like, me and Brandon aren't the most artistically inclined. We both have really good Photoshop skills, but we're not really artists.
Right.
So we can modify the tiles to get what we need. But music on the other hand, I've been writing for years. So
Oh, cool.
I tried to do that. I wrote the actual main theme to the game really early on, and Brandon was like, yes, put that in. All right.
Perfect. Yeah, it sounds great, man.
I try. Eventually, we're thinking about trying to find a way to cut vinyl and send vinyl as like a special edition option for people.
That would be really cool.
So
that would be.
it would be. I mean, like it would be almost a luxury item because it would be expensive to produce such a small number.
Of course.
But I mean, if we can properly do it with some nice artwork, obviously we'd all sign it. Put some custom artwork on there. Depending on the price of doing so, maybe have like a colored vinyl disc. I know those are pretty cool. We could have like a nice Unhinged in Catherine blue, something like that. I don't know. These are all options that we could look into. So I mean, yeah, it would be expensive, but if you get a good quality item, someone out there will enjoy it, I'm sure. So.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Especially if someone who plays it as a vinyl collector, it'd be kind of cool. So.
Oh yeah.
Not sure what else to put for the bass line because I want to get rid of the cellos because the cellos sound too sad. I could do an electric keyboard. If I add a part for an electric piano and then I take this and paste it there, and I take this and paste it there, and then I get rid of you and I get rid of you. How does this sound? It's still a little too. I didn't want to do this, but I think I'm gonna have to change the key of the whole thing. Let's apologize if anyone can hear my brother being stupid in the other room. I'm hoping NVIDIA GTX voice is clearing that out, but if not, then I apologize to everybody for that. I'm thinking NVIDIA is taking care of it. Have you tried RTX voice, Ryan?
I have not.
So I don't know. It's kind of hard for people to try it because you have to have like a nice PC with one of the new RTX graphics cards. But
Okay.
they've basically used your graphics card for graphics processing and used it to also process audio. So it's basically like a background noise reduction, which, I mean, obviously for you recording your own stuff, you would want to just do all that in software. But
Right.
for something live, it's not as nice to have. It doesn't sound good for OBS to constantly have a noise filter on. But if my graphics card is doing it in the background, it's actually not bad.
Right.
So.
No, that makes sense.
It's really different, but it's really good. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. So you're actually hearing. Thank you, Shadow Fox. I will definitely look into that. When I'm done streaming, I will load that up, and I I will load that up and do that. I'm done. What you mean by that, brother? I think I'm gonna have to change the key of the whole song. I don't want to.
Is that a difficult process to change the whole key, or is
It's not too bad, but it's a matter of like. I don't want it to sound too different from the other version.
It's all about probably trying to make sure everything matches together to what you're wanting,
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's a process for sure.
It's one of those like nitpicky things where you almost have to listen to the whole thing once you do it and make sure it all still sounds okay.
Right.
So we're gonna try
Every
this.
Recording.
Yeah. We're gonna. Yeah. So you get what I mean is because you can add like an effect or something. It's not really an effect. It's changing the whole notes that are played, but it would be the same as like adding an effect to your voice, whether you do it in your own vocal cords or whether you do it in software, and then having to go back and listen to it and see if you screwed it up or if it actually sounds good.
Right.
So hopefully.
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned earlier before stream, I'm super excited about the sound foam panels that I sent you, man. I'm super stoked about it. I mean, right now I have 1 inch still of the thick foam. Ultimately, I think further in my voiceover career, I would love to get 2 inch thick of them. Just because then it can. I mean, there's a huge difference in the quality, but it's a step in the right direction.
For the longest time, I don't know if you knew this. You probably know who the guy is, but I don't know if you knew that he started doing this. And I don't watch him personally, but there's Jacksepticeye, one of the gamers on YouTube. He started out by getting a whole bunch of pillows and strapping those to his wall to add some kind of something. And obviously, it's not soundproofing foam.
Yeah, that's
always a clever idea because he couldn't, he can't. If he had a big old room, he couldn't afford to spend, $100 on soundproofing foam, but you can always buy some cheap pillows.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's always an alternative. If there's anyone either now or in the future watching this wanting to start off in the voice acting or streaming career, that's always an option if you're looking for some kind of noise reduction. Responsa Dibble, what's up, Aaron? How you doing, Dibble? It's good to see you, man. Throwing some half-tree love out there. We love our half-trees, of course. We love the SS Hootenanny, and we all love Catherine. We know we all love Catherine. So, hell yeah. All right, cool. Man, Dibble, how you doing, man? What is today? Today's Saturday, so you didn't work today. Well, at least you didn't go in today. Oh, yeah, we got that hype block. I almost forgot about the hype block.
And then that heart is like a global thing that I noticed. Like, if you scroll all the way down in the little emote section, you can look at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like all the way
Yep,
at
there
the
it
bottom.
is. Yeah. Virtual hug.
Yeah.
I still went in and worked. Dibble, you're a trooper, man. Listen, you're a good guy, Dibble. You really are. Dibble Ryan is one of Brandon's coworkers. Really sweet guy.
Cool.
This guy, he's good. Dibble is one of the guys that if you're looking to make plans for the future, he is the guy to like talk to and make sure you don't sound like an idiot. He will level you and be like, yeah, that's a good idea, but you need to think about this and this. Dude, Dibble, you're awesome. All right. Dibble has managed many restaurants in the past and has worked with a lot of catering and restaurants and worked all the different positions in said jobs. So he is a good guy, especially if you're starting a business or running any kind of party or anything like that. He's a good guy to talk to. His brain just immediately snaps into business mode and can analyze your entire plan and tell you either you're an idiot or you're doing good. So... he's good. We're gonna I'm gonna dibble. I do have a eventually I have an event that I need your help to plan. So Emma, always good to
I
have you,
am.
Emma. Rocking that hype train
Yeah.
badge there. Well, a shout out, thank you, of course, Dibble. Emma, this is music writing. I'm exhausted. Shadow Fox. If you're exhausted, man, you gotta get some sleep. It is 8:02 p.m. at least here. I don't remember what part of the country you're in, but if you're exhausted, man, you gotta get some sleep. You can't be up and exhausted. It's not healthy.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna.
Emma, we hope you're doing much better. And,
Yes.
Just definitely wanted to say, yeah, hey, and hope all is well.
Yeah, for sure, Emma. Seriously, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're progressing and not feeling as sick. So that's really important. I'm really hoping that you're feeling better. Shadow Fox, don't run on Steam. Running on Steam is not good. Um, I don't know anyone who actually enjoys running on Steam.
No, I can't say I know anyone that does.
Yeah, I know you know a lot of people that try to as well, because I work in a similar type of environment. Obviously, not as big of a company as you do, Ryan, but I definitely work in the guest service industry, and it is tiring sometimes, to say the least.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where you take every moment and see if you can fix it and try to make it better.
Yep, and that's all you can do is your
That's right.
best. But it sucks trying to
Can't
do
make
that on an
everybody
empty
happy.
sucks trying to do that on an empty tank. But well, I'm doing everything by myself right now. Really hope that my guys get some time soon because it's starting to burn me. Yeah, man, it sucks trying to do everything yourself. I feel bad because there was a point where Brandon was doing everything himself in our game because it was over a year ago, but there was a really low point in my life that finally I got out of, luckily. But Brandon had to pick up my slack, and I felt bad but I definitely know what you're talking about, man. So what did I miss, Emma? You haven't missed a whole lot compared to yesterday. We haven't really done anything off stream. I added some backdoor stuff that doesn't make much difference. Um,
Emma, you won the Yankee. I don't know if
yes,
you
I
were
think
aware
she.
of
I
that.
think she did very last second yesterday. I think she popped in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because remember she was like, "Who needs a game key?"
Oh yeah.
So I think she hopefully knows she won that. Oh right, I have that. Yes, you do. Fixing bugs, playtesting, trying to find voice actors and actresses, and so much more. Ah, yes, it is a very big ordeal. Very, very big ordeal. Um, what Brandon and I started doing for voice acting, and obviously you can't do all the voices for your game, but we would look for any character, and I mean any character, whether it's a minor character that says one line or something like that, like the in our game Sephrin, there's like a little doc guy who says one line, and I'm like, that's a voice that I can try real quick, and regardless of whether it sounds good, it gets some kind of voice acting in your game, and it fills in some of the little cracks so that you can, you know what I mean? You can start pushing in that direction. And Brandon did a couple voices, and I got my brother to do a couple voices, so it's always helpful to reach out to people you know, especially if you don't have a high budget, because you want to reach out to people like family and friends, because if you have a role that you need to add lines to, then you don't want to have to go find them again, which is why I had my brother do a couple lines. And I know Ryan is always down after his Quinn Spike voice. It was good enough that we're like, we're gonna add a couple more lines to Quinn. So
Prepare to get spiked.
exactly. At
Dude, he
current, bro,
has
there are
such a cool.
132 roles available I need to find. Well,
Wow.
that sounds horrible, but
You can do it.
there's also a matter of like Ryan, how many roles do we have you in now? There's a couple minor ones that I don't there's and then
I
there's like two
I
major ones, two or three
well,
major ones. Like
yeah, like I oh gosh.
cuz people can always you could people can usually pull at least two or three voices out of their
Yeah,
vocal cords, even if they don't
agreed.
have voice acting experience. People
Absolutely.
can so a lot of the little small roles people can you can use the same person, especially if they're further apart in the story of the video game. So like, like for example, Ryan doing Captain Wiley and Quinn. Have you considered getting a lawyer for your terms of service? You saying to me, Emma, or to Shadowfox? Because for us, that's also stuff we're working on. But I already found some really talented people. Hey, that's really good, Shadowfox.
Oh,
Seriously,
that's fine.
Emma, me, that is something that we're working on. We're working in the legal side of things, kind of behind the scenes as we speak. Um, but Jesus, my cat is loud. Um, but like Ryan's voices, for example, his real major ones are Captain Wiley, who is probably also going to make a reappearance because your voice is so good, and then Quinn Spike. Between the two of them, like I'm sure and this is just because of how people work with their ears, I'm sure that if someone on repeat listened to each voice, they could probably eventually maybe be like, oh, maybe these could be the same person. But what you do is you space them apart in the game so that they don't hear them right next to each other. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying your voices are similar because they're not, but it's just a matter of being like, if you listen to them side by side, it's like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, no,
Like
I
everyone can
can
always
see
be
that.
like, these might be the same person. So what you do
Yeah.
is to kind of disguise that you don't have as many voice actors as you spread them out. Cause like for
What?
example, Star Trek is a professional one. Is the voice of the computer is Mrs. Roddenberry, Gene Roddenberry's wife, and she makes an appearance in the show several times actually. But you
Um,
never hear her in the same scene as the computer has to talk because it's the
yeah,
same person.
that makes sense. For Steve Bloom, who's one of the biggest voice actors in the industry, in Batman Arkham Asylum, he
Hmm.
was the voice of the doctor who was examining the Joker when he was
Hmm.
strapped to the like the chair board, whatever it is, and then also he's the voice of Killer Croc.
Okay.
So two different, obviously spectrums,
Yeah.
of course, but they were also spaced out as well. So I can
Yeah.
definitely see that and stuff.
And they try to do that
Um,
on purpose because you don't want to
yeah,
break the immersion by having them right next to each other. Because it kind of sounds a little like, you know what I mean. Not to say unprofessional, but if someone by mistake catches that they could be the same person, it could break the immersion.
absolutely,
I also
absolutely.
love the Arkham Asylum games just because of Heath Ledger doing the Joker. Of
Oh
course,
yeah,
we all love uh, we all love Heath Ledger. So
absolutely.
gotta
Really quick, Adam.
yeah.
My wife made dinner, so real quick, I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then I'll try to hop back on.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, enjoy dinner, man.
Yes, thank you so much, and
No problem.
again, appreciate it. Bye.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I am on my own for a minute. Um, I actually have to send a message to Ryan and tell him to text me when he gets back on so I can put him in the right channel again. Gotta message Ryan here and tell him to text me. Come on. Oh, I also need to put my phone on silent. Almost forgot about that. So we're gonna message the Shadowist, or sorry, the Ryanist of the Wily. Mm, Do you enjoy playing your own game? Actually, yeah. We do. We're gonna enjoy it more when we don't. When there's more randomness, when there's like the combat and stuff, because obviously right now we know where we're supposed to go, and we have all the. We don't need to do the exploration because we built the world. But like, when the combat is there and there's more randomness to how the game plays because of the combat, then it'll be much more fun. But already I enjoy playing our own games, so. So yes, I would say, Emma, do you enjoy playing your game? I know you've been working on your own recently. Do you enjoy playing yours? Um, Not at all, because I'm a perfectionist. That's also a thing that happens, is there's times where Brandon will do it more often than I will, but there's times where it's just like, we don't enjoy it because we're like, hey, Shuford, what's up, man? Yeah, Emma, there's times where we boot it up and we're just upset because it's not like exactly what we wanted, but usually that just pushes us to make it how we wanted it. So, I'm sure Shadow Fox gets the same way. Did you know nuns make their own clothes? I did not. Did you know that, or did you just look that up? Just curious. That was a fun fact, Shuford. I do enjoy the fun facts, as long as they're appropriate. If you feel like keeping up with the fun facts, I would very much enjoy the fun facts. But as always, it's good to see you, Shuford. Very interesting, Shuford. It's very good to know. I did not know that. Sweet. Emma, making contracts with 21 voice actors. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. That you're finding some talent for your game. That's awesome. Shuford. Very interesting random knowledge. That's really interesting. Let's have a chord symbol. Oh, they actually have actual second endings now. Cool. Huh. Okay. Oh, it was a joke. Okay. I didn't get it. Okay. That was a good one, Shuford. That was I'll give that one to you. That was a good one, and that went right over my head. I'm sorry, Shuford. Sorry to ruin that joke for you. I apologize. But good news is, I think the Rune Bend music is almost done. Joke could have gone better. Should have gotten a nice sigh of disappointment at that awful pun. Yeah, I mean, dad jokes. What's she gonna do, It's whatever. I don't mind a dad joke from time to time. I'm not a dad yet. Eventually I will be. But, I like to... I'm starting to, accumulate my dad jokes. I have a cat that really wants badly into my room. Alright. So what are you working with here? This is a website called Noteflight. Is that a kawaii little... No. No, it is not, Emma. It is an actual cat, obviously. Let's not get into that, Emma. Shuford, on the other hand, this is a website called Noteflight. It's actually a free music writing website. I actually pay for their premium because I write so much music, especially for this game. But, I'm writing the music for Runebend. Or both musics for Runebend. Yeah? Emma? Alright. I could use her musical talent. Looks really cool. I want some FL Studio. Was working with it a while back and loved it, but I don't own a legit copy. Yeah, this is pretty cheap. They offer a lifetime use for, I think it's $300. I don't have that, but I might get it. Which is, it sounds like a lot right now, and not to you, Emma. I know that's not a lot of money to you, but most music software like Finale is like $1,000, and it still goes obsolete after a couple years. So when a website like this can offer you a lifetime subscription for $300, but not only are all your websites backed up on a cloud save, so that you can access them from anywhere and you don't have to download the software, John, is now hosting us. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate you very much. Finale is like $1,000, but it goes obsolete after a couple years. And same thing with FL Studio. It goes obsolete after a few years, and both of them still, you would have to download the software on every computer you want to use it. This, it keeps updating, and it's only the one-time purchase. They're going to keep updating it, obviously, and you will always have that subscription. So, and this is also, I've used FL Studio, but I didn't like it because you couldn't actually really write physical sheet music, which is what my experience is in. So, we've got, we got some characters from Shadow Fox here. Excuse me, looking really good. Right, I can see the pros here. Yeah, and I mean, obviously FL Studio has more electronic stuff. I mean, there's no way in something like this. Mind if I share a piece I did is more than just a sample? That's fine, yeah, you can share. If you want to put it on here, or if you want to put it in the Discord, that might be a good place for it. Apparently, Succubus might be next. Yeah, so, like, for example, like, this won't do many, like, electronic variations on stuff. You can't really bring out different amplifiers and, a whole bunch of electronic equipment and all that kind of stuff like I know you can in FL Studio. The closest you can get is basically, like, electronic drum kit and electronic piano. So, that's about all you're going to get out of this. But I still think, like, for my personal needs, I like this because I'm a music, physical music person. I like sheet music. How do you send all your lines to people? We usually, Shadow Fox, nice ad. based on a piano piece I was working on. I will definitely click on that in just a second. Shadow Fox, I usually send it all in a Google Drive file. So, that way I can modify them and they can add notes and stuff like that. And then it's accessible from any computer. Most of our, I should say all of our text files for our game, as far as like planning and all that kind of stuff, is all in the Google Drive stuff. So it's on the cloud. I can access them from whatever device I need to. Anyone I need to have access can have access. So that's how Brandon and I do all of our planning for the game. So I can actually, like, if I bring up my Google Drive, I can go to AB Games, and I can go to, like, we have a text documents folder. There's, like, pretty clever stuff. Absolutely. So, like, if I go into here, this is, obviously I have all this on an actual folder on my PC as well, but I can go to, you know, AB Games and all that kind of stuff, and actually just access it. And I can access this from my phone, and I can access this from, from whatever other PC, and Brandon can access it, and we can also work on the same file at the same time, which is a big deal as well. So we can both be typing in our Lost Legend Bible, per se, and, yeah. Can you guys hear this? Schufert, I really like it. Schufert, I do. I really like it. See, this is where I have trouble, is writing stuff that has less of a... Because this does have a melody, obviously. The melody is this chord-based, this chord outline. Well, now it has an actual proper melody, but I have a hard time writing this kind of music where it's just this outlined chord and making it sound good. So... But it sounds really nice, Schufert. I like it. It's really good. I really like it. So, thank you so much for sharing, Schufert. I really appreciate that. It's like, seriously, man. That was awesome. I need to make more stuff like that. This is the other version. A lot more synth-heavy sort of things. Yeah, I get that. Like, and that's the advantage of FL Studios. You can do a lot more electronic stuff. But for someone like me who has a lot more experience in sheet music, it's harder for me to make something in that program. So that's the difference there. My closest to something like almost sad like that-ish would be like, if I do Google Drive, and then I can do music and scores. My closest is the Evelyn theme. Barely hear it. Here's the music for it. Here's where we are. I'm actually using a different software. I actually used a different software to write that for a full band. as well as I actually used Finale to write that one for a full band and for the main orchestral version of the theme, because some of the samples in this software aren't very good, but it's faster to use this software. If I could get the samples of Noteflight, if I could get the interface of Noteflight with the samples of Finale, then I would be happy. That's my problem, is it's so easy to sell a game on a tune like that. I really appreciate that, man. MRIM, that was beautiful, incredible. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. And that is why we are offering a sound book, and on the official release, we're offering a digital sound book and the soundtrack separately, if people want to get it. Appreciate that a lot. The problem is Finale's interface is not as quick and easy as Noteflight's, so I find it a lot harder to use. But the sounds that it creates are a lot better. So either I can write it all in here and then move it over to the other... I'll click on that in 1 second, Shuford. Write it all in here and then move it over to Finale and basically write it twice. Or I can just write it the first time in Finale and then accept that it might not be as good. Because my problem with writing stuff in Finale is like it's harder for me to get my idea onto paper because it takes longer to do it. Dibble can actually appreciate this, and Shadowfox probably can too, is that when you have an idea, you need to just get it on paper, right? You can't really like go straight to typing it in the final version. You know, you got to have some drafts. You really like taking advantage of layering. Yes. I have a lot of call and response stuff. My only problem is like I end up only having like 2 things going on, maybe 3 at one time. So you have stuff that it's basically all the brass are doing this, all the woodwinds are doing this, all the strings are doing this. That ends up being my problem, but I think it's still not bad. Okay, we're gonna listen to this now. Okay. We're gonna turn this down a little bit because I don't know what it's gonna be. Okay. Sounds like something from like I like it. Sounds like something out of like Doom or like a similar like a game like that, Metroid or something. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, it sounds like a more action-y game. It definitely has a place in a game. Definitely a Far Cry from Metroid. You flatter me too much. No, I like it, man. I think I like the bass line, which is obviously the main like focus of it, but I like everything on top kind of gets rid of the monotonousness, because the problem of having like a bass line like that is that it sounds so good, but after a while it gets monotonous, so you're layering on top of it of other stuff to kind of distract you from the monotonousness is really good, and it takes that away, so it's not monotonous anymore. So I like that. I have an old song called, I don't even know if it's still on my account. Nope, I don't even have it. The whole bass line was literally just the bottom note on the piano and then the third above that for like the entire thing. So Metroid is freaking genius musical writing, but I appreciate that mine made you think it. Yeah, for sure, man. Like, I love hearing people's musical endeavors, no matter where they're at in like their musical career. Same thing with like Ryan. He loves listening to people's voice acting. I love listening to people's music, and I'm not like, the only genre I don't really get into is rap. But like other than that, I love listening to people's endeavors. And there's times that I just write something because I have something in my head, like this one. It's literally just called Something Happy. Don't know what it is, but it sounded like a happier song, so I just put it in. Rap was a weird one. I'm not a fan, but I've come to appreciate certain styles. There's certain styles of rap that I can get into as well, but not like... There's some that I don't. What is your background in music? Mine? So when I was in 6th grade, so 2008, so 12 years ago, I'm 23 now, so when I was 11, I started in band as a saxophone player, and after playing music, I really wanted to write some. So on this very software, why the heck do I have 3 versions of this same song? On this very same software, I started writing music, and 99% of all my old stuff is gone and deleted. But on this very same software, I started writing really simple stuff, and then some stuff that wasn't so simple that I tried to do and failed to do. But, yeah. So the familiar sound to it, I like how yours starts with generally a simple tune, and child can play and develop some way. Yeah, and I tried. There's a lot of different stuff I try to do with my music, and some of it I completely fail to do, and others I do okay. So that's the actual version of Runebend that I wanted. Make sure it's still there. Yes, it is. Okay. Might stay akin to Forrest Gump theme. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, crap. My microphone's peaking. I apologize. Let's fix that. Hopefully. If I'm louder, does that still peak? No, it doesn't. Okay. I need a drink of water. And for whatever reason, I'm sorry. I keep itching my nose. My nose is really itchy. It's kind of dry. All right. So, we need to make, sad versions of our town's music. For example, Saffron Town is quite happy. This is the Saffron Town theme as it exists currently. What I want to do is I'm going to have to slow it down. Before I forget, if you don't already, you need to check out 8-Book Music Theory on YouTube. It's incredibly good. I think I started to watch it. I'm going to watch that. I think I saw it. I might have added it to my watch later. I'm definitely going to check that out. So here's the Saffron Town theme. We're going to make this sad. So we're going to first make a copy of it. Cool. Copy of Saffron Town. And then we're going to... first we're going to slow it down. It's already quite slow. But we're going to slow it down. 82 beats per minute. Uriel7383. Welcome to the party, Uriel. We're just chatting today. We're just writing a little bit of music. Ryan will probably join me in a minute again. So, he'll probably be back in a bit. I did have Ryan with me a while ago. But appreciate you being here. We're just writing some music today. Just doing a little chatting. I'm writing, sad versions of all our town music. So, that's the goal today. Let's go with... I need to change the key. Let's do... You could stay in the same key. I'm gonna... I could take out the faster noise, climbing the whole half. That's what I was thinking. Is I also kind of want to change this acoustic guitar to let's parts. Let's really quick. Again, I'm going back on. I mean, I know this is kind of typical for me and for other games, but if I add the cello and I BRB. All right, Shuford. We're gonna do this. And then we're going to I actually want to get rid of this almost entirely. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. Entirely. I want to make it all... Apparently, it won't let you delete an entire track without actually literally removing the track. I just want to make it empty. Thank you. That's all I wanted. Okay. Okay, so okay, so basically what we do from here is remove that. And we make this quieter. Okay. Can't quite remove the acoustic guitar yet because I forgot to add one of the parts. Okay. That's all I needed. That can go bye-bye now. I'm not sure it would be better. I generally prefer strings for sad, but oboe makes a good sound too. It does, but not in this software. Eventually, like I said, a lot of this will probably be rewritten in Finale, which has better woodwind sounds, but the woodwind sounds for this software sound really bad. So I try to avoid them, basically. So they do. I love a good cello solo. So I mean, like, yeah, it's a little repetitive just using that bottom extra line, but I like what it is, and I think it'll do fine for just a sad town music. So we're gonna go with that. I don't know if this is already sorted into there. I don't know if this is either, but okay. So like for example, Pine Village. Here's an example of how bad the woodwind. This is just a flute. All it is a flute in here. But like the flute sounds bad. So give it a second to, because the rest of the song I like. Okay, I will give Note Flight credit for their piano sound. It is extremely good. I think their piano sound is a-okay. I don't know if this isn't bad in context. How to translate repetitive dismal. Yeah. Repetitive dismal content. Exactly. So repetitive isn't too bad, especially in a video game. You don't want all the credit on the music. Anyway, here's the flute, and you'll see how bad it sounds. And the higher up, this is actually the better octaves. The higher sound. It just sounds really flat, and like they used like a really cheap $100 flute from eBay. Like, yeah, on the fourth note I started hearing that. Yeah, it's not great. So like, it's not awful, but it could be better. Yeah, exactly. And like clarinet and the oboe are not any better. So like, eventually I might get into Finale and rewrite some of these in Finale, but for now they're gonna just be how they are. What's another example? I do like the harp sound. The harp sound. And I don't know how accurate this is, but it sounds pretty good to me, and I like the sound in general, even if it's not accurate. So, even if it might not be entirely accurate, I like the sound itself. This is solid, yeah. I think it's pretty good. Oh, I like this. Yeah, this sound, this sound will probably be used more in the game. I think it only has 1 or 2 spots in the game right now, so this is going to be used more. Don't worry. Morning, everyone. Rob's Voices. Good morning. How is the other side of the world, my friend? How you doing? How are you doing? What other town did I need to be? Or Power Brother? Crucible. Does the Crucible even have music yet? Did I write anything for the Crucible? I don't think I did. If I did that, I don't remember it. No, I have not. Well, the Crucible needs music, and I don't really have any ideas for the Crucible's music. Over here, it's cold and slightly wet. Dude, slightly wet is an understatement. It is storming outside. So, at least it was. It was bad enough that I think you guys could hear it on stream. Like what you're doing, but I gotta run. Keep rocking and talk to you soon. Everyone have a great weekend. Hey, Shuford, thank you so much for being here and joining me today on this solo stream. It's always good to see you. You have an excellent night, or morning, or afternoon. So, have a good one, man. Rob's Voices. I'm glad you're indoors and not wet. It's always good. This song needs to make a... We have a whole lot of B-side songs now that don't make an appearance anymore. I wrote so much music for this game that doesn't really make an appearance anymore. The piece was playing when I came in. What was that looking to be for? That was the Dream music. At least I called it Dream because that's kind of what it sounded like. Right now, it's only played on a boat ride from the tutorial island to the mainland, but I think we're going to start using it for more stuff. I want to use it for more stuff. So, this is, I like it a lot, and it's not used in the game at all currently. It was used for a trailer, but, I want this to be used somewhere else. But there's just going to be music that we can't use. I'm still going to offer it in the soundtrack because it was written for the game. But, yeah. Then there's, looking before. Where is it? Not main theme, mine shaft, Dark Force, Great War. Scene Courtyard. Awaken Hero. This is also probably one of my favorites that never gets used. It used to be used in a character select screen before we isolated it to just Catherine. We used to have a guy character you could play. But we do not anymore. So this song kind of got cut. But it might make an appearance again. And I really want it to. Oops, sorry for the... It could be. That's a very good idea. Very possible. Or something of that nature. Something important. But hear the second half of it, though. This is my favorite part of the song here. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Minus the cat in the background. So there's that. Um, and my brother's cat being really freaking loud. Current I can zip files, screenshots of that main character. The piece sounds kind of eerie. Rob's voice is yes, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like an eerie graveyard where you're selecting your main character. Shadow Fox, at current, I send zip files of screenshots of that current, that certain character. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Undertone of the vocals, yes. So, sorry, my brother is screaming at his cat. The chorus sound this website offers is pretty good, actually, for like backing oh and ooh sounds like that, but it's not really good for anything else. But as long as you have it long, drawn out sounds like that, it's pretty good. So, this is definitely going to get used somewhere else. Let's see. There's the extra sounds tab. I had like 10 extra files of just a little sound. Like, I'm going to combine them into one sheet because I want to, basically, I'm going to put all these, or I have put all these into a sound book. This is all of this sheet music is what you get, when you get the, I could never imagine making music. It takes practice, obviously. Like all things, it takes practice. But as long as you practice it and start from somewhere and just start messing around, like learning Photoshop or learning RPG Maker, you just have to play with it and you start learning and it sounds really good. When you buy these, with the stream points, the gold coins, when you buy the digital soundbook, you get almost all of these. There's a couple you don't get because they're like repeats and stuff or they're not done. And I always add more to them as they become complete. So the digital soundbook right now ends up being this. Hard enough writing lyrics when I was in a band. Yeah, no, writing lyrics I struggle even more. I struggle really hard with music, with lyrics. But like this is what you get for the digital soundbook, and they're all PDFs. So you can just download and either print or play from an iPad all the music from the game. And because I am such a musically inclined person, I wanted to offer this as part of something that you can grab, whether you get it with the deluxe version of the game when it releases, or whether you buy it separately on the stream. Can't do it. Closest thing I've ever done to make music is parody songs on YouTube. Hey, if that's what you can do music-wise, that's still good. I think everyone has a musical background somewhere inside them, some kind of musical voice trying to get out. Whether that's making parody songs on YouTube or whether that's writing stuff. This is also included in the book, by the way. My pride and joy. Like everyone's got some kind of musical voice trying to get out. And if that's yours, then there's nothing wrong with that. Consider myself a good writer. Exactly. So you just got to take that emotion and what I try to do, and sometimes I actually do this more times than not, is you have to be in the mood for it. But what you do is which is what my game excels in. Exactly. So think of your game almost as a movie. Think of it playing out scene by scene with camera angles and actors, and think of it like that. So close your eyes and think of that, and think of the backing track behind it. Don't think of, rock music or pop music. Think of like an actual orchestral soundtrack and picture how it sounds, what kind of music would be in the background. And sometimes I can find something and I'll hum it, and even there it can be difficult. I've used a tuner before, a guitar tuner, and hummed my stuff into it to get at least my starting pitch and written from there. So sometimes that's just how you have to do it. So anyway, like the extra sounds. Brandon actually wrote a couple of these. The save and load Brandon wrote, which don't tell him. Tangible jumping point. Exactly. Something to start with. And even if I only know like one or two measures, at least it's an idea to start with. Brandon actually wrote the save and load sounds. Don't tell him. I don't really think I like them, but I'm going to keep them in there because Brandon wanted to dip his toe into the music portion of the game, so I'm going to leave them. And there's the sleep sound, and they all just they all just play without any kind of break in between. But there's the updated quests and the completed quests, new quest, and failed quest. New item. And no new item, which for some reason we have, even though it doesn't really happen. It doesn't ever really play except for when you gamble and lose your money. So, oh, Brandon's favorite song in the game is a lot of people's favorite song in the game, actually. This one. The shopping theme. And one of the only songs in the game with a bass drum line. This is one of Brandon's favorite songs in the game. It's completely different from everything else in the game, but I like it just because it's a nod to like the Pokemart and stuff like that, where you're just in a shopping center and buying stuff. Like I am completely fine with this little nod. Sounds pretty cheery. Exactly. It's supposed to be a nod to all those, Game Boy games and SNES games where you're at some kind of shop in your RPG game and everything. The shopkeeper's just like, here are my wares, traveler. Here's all I have to sell. So, it's kind of a nod to that. So, there's that. There's, Khajiit has wares if you have the coin. Nice, thank you, Rob's Voices. You probably do that voice a lot better than I do. But, had to attempt it. Then there's frickin' Castberg. Boy, if you guys have not heard the story behind Castberg, here's the story behind Castberg. Castberg's music. You might notice how it says Castberg Mark 9. That's because it took me about 9 tries to get Castberg right. That frickin' town, I could not write music for that town for the life of me. That music ended up being the Dream music. It ended up being the Awakened Hero music. It ended up being the Arcania music. And every time I wrote it, I'm like, no, it sounds cool, but it's not the town of Castberg. It's just not. So I literally wrote and a whole bunch of them got deleted and scrapped. But it ended up being like 9 tries before I finally wrote one in front of Brandon in like 10 minutes. And Brandon goes, that's it. I said, I know. I don't know where it came to me, but this is it. So ladies and gentlemen, after like 9 tries, here's the official Castberg music, which if you played the game, you've already heard. But after like 9 tries, this is what took me so long to finally embody Castberg. Gotta ask, what's the battle theme sound like? Give me a second. We'll do that. We'll do that next. This is what took me so long. And I don't know how it took me so long. Battle music. Battle music, I've only ever written one battle theme, and I want to write more, but there's so little combat in the game right now, it's not important. There's only one battle theme, and I don't really like it, but I'm going with it. So, The battle music that I do not like, everybody, here it is, the boss battle, or perhaps just going to end up being the regular battle music, not quite sure, but here it is. One second, gotta fix it. It's been so long since I modified this. The website, for whatever reason, adds a default reverb that makes things sound kind of awful. So, okay, for the second time. Like, I don't really like it. It's alright. So it's okay. It's not like the best thing I've ever written, but it'll do if I need something to plug in there for a minute. I'm not quite sure how I feel, but it's something. So, and then it just repeats. I'm agreeing with you not being boss music. Yeah, it's not quite boss battle music, but it might be some kind of battle music. So I'll see. Something like that. Arcania. This is one of those that started as Castberg, and then I realized it wasn't Castberg. And that happens a lot with writing music, by the way. It's kind of like writing a story. You can't say, "Oh well, this is the title of the story. This is what it's about," before you actually write it, because eventually it might change. Elven Ranger 87, welcome to the party, Elven Ranger. Good to have you. Thank you for joining me. We're going through some of the music for the game as I transition from writing some more stuff. This used to be Castberg. Just got home, nice. Yeah, this used to be Castberg, and then I realized it wasn't Castberg. So, it became Arcania. So I like it because it's really dark, and it almost has like a Riften feel, and that's kind of how I wanted Arcania to feel. It's almost like Riften from Skyrim, and it's kind of dreary and dark and a little just eerie feeling, like something ain't right. You know what I mean? Heavy atmosphere. Yes, it is. It's also a very big turning point in the story. So that's one of those things where it's just really heavy. And yeah, if I could add some decent like fog effects to the game when you're in Arcania, I would do so, and I might actually do that. So doing it in Noteflight, yes. The reason that I do everything in Noteflight is because it's so easy to put stuff on paper per se. It's easy to get my ideas on there. Eventually, I'm probably going to switch to Finale or something like that, or even just pay somebody to just play my music professionally, because I play piano and saxophone, but not nearly as well as some of the music that I've written. So I might just pay somebody to play some of my music. But yes, I'm doing it in Noteflight just because it's quick to get my stuff on paper, and the sounds aren't terribly bad, the samples. So until I get a different place to put my stuff, it's going to be a Noteflight. I don't mind it. I've been using it for years. Look into Logic or Pro Tools. Okay. I can try that. I've been looking at Finale, because I am better working with actual sheet music. Expensive, yeah. Like Finale's $1,000, I know. I am used to working with sheet music, and I don't like FL Studio. It makes you write in like basically MIDI, with its bars, and you gotta like line everything up with the piano and all that, and so like, but I like Finale. So it depends on the music software. But Finale sounds a hell of a lot better than this. So, I don't know. We'll see. Like for example, the Courtyard music would sound really good in Finale. It does not sound good in Note Flight. You guys haven't even heard the Courtyard music because it's not in the game yet, because we haven't built the courtyard yet for the castle. So, Sephiroth alternate. We need music for the Crucible, and I don't know what the music for the Crucible is. I can't picture it in my head right now. Here's the Summer Beach DLC music for all of you that were here yesterday. Summer Beach DLC. Summer Beach DLC. Summer Beach. Summer Beach DLC. Yes, that is actually going to be on the Summer Beach DLC. If that actually happens. We haven't actually done anything with it yet. Brandon wanted to do it, and then he stopped making it. So, this, I wish I could sing. I can't sing, so you guys are going to have to imagine the vocal part of this. But the guy, Brandon, has kind of been against this, but I really like this, and I think the lyrics fit with the main character. But, like, if I could get a vocalist, preferably a female vocalist to match Catherine, but if I could get a vocalist to make this sound good, then, and that's going to be really hard for me not to sing it, but I'm a horrible singer, and I'm not going to do that to myself. But if you guys just want to, it's going to play it with a piano, the vocal part. So if you guys just want to listen to this. This is a potential for the game, not necessarily in it yet. So yeah, that's basically what might eventually be in the game as far as a lyrical song, and it would probably be the only one. Shadow Fox, I have faith that you could put together something like this. It takes practice and time, but I have faith that you could do it. I think anyone can do something like this. And everyone has some kind of song inside them, even if it's just one. But yeah, if I could get a vocalist and get some motivation to finish this, this is a potential for being in the game. It would probably be in a spot with a lot of tension in it, like To the Moon and Finding Paradise have their one vocal song, revelation piece, or an ending. Yes, which is basically what I'm trying to do. It's kind of like if you've ever heard Laura Shigehara's Everything's Alright, or fucking the Finding Paradise version. Can't think of the Finding Paradise version of her song of basically the same song, but it's kind of in like a 3/4 of the game to very end part where all the emotions are at their peak, and this is just basically this is the altar call. This is the song that says, yes, it's okay for you to cry. It's okay. So, like, this would be when Catherine is having her revelation. Like songs Eyes on Me and FF8. And yeah, I've never played either of those games. I'm meaning to try and get into the Final Fantasy series. I'm going to do that. Welcome back, Ryan. If you want to get back in the Discord, that's up to you. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you want to get back in the Discord, I can add you in real quick. If you're up for that, just hop in any one of the. Yeah, actually, Rob's Voices. If you could do that, that'd be cool. I can do that. I could listen to those real quick. Ryan, if you want in the voice chat back on the stream, it's up to you. Just join any voice chat in the Unhinged server, and I will put you in the correct one. Send some links, Rob's Voices. It should let you send them as long as you if you just like find them on YouTube or something, that'd be fine. Something yeah, alright, just join any voice chat on the stream, and I can drag you in the right into the hidden dev voice chat. We're gonna listen to this here. This is gonna get flagged when it goes on YouTube, but that's okay. On this stage, on my own, never said my words, wishing they would be heard. I saw you smiling at me. Was it real or just my fantasy? You'd always be there in the corner of this tiny little bar. My last night here for you. I realized yeah. So this is basically, it's actually having that kind of effect on me too. This is your It's Okay to Cry song. This is the altar call. And that's what I want to hopefully achieve with my lyrical one. Is basically an altar call where, it's okay to cry, it's okay to have some kind of emotional reaction. And that is almost one of my favorite kinds of songs, one of those It's Okay to Cry songs. This is basically the same thing in To the Moon. I didn't mean to cut the song short. I also just don't want to have a ton of it, just in case. And I know YouTube's already going to flag me for it, but hopefully this will make it better if I don't have the entire song. But this is Laura Shigehara's Everything's Alright. Chin up, I can't step into the spotlight. She said, I'm sad, somehow without any words. I just stood there, searching for an answer. When this world is so there's this. We're gonna can I edit the video before going up to cut this? Kind of. If so, it saves a video file, which would be then uploaded to YouTube. But I would have to go in and actually, I can't just like, I can just cut out one part, but then I have to wait like the 4 hours for it to render back out. So it sucks. I can try it. And then but the other option is, I'm gonna pause this real quick. The other option is I can wait for YouTube to flag it. And if they don't flag it, then it's fine. And then if they do flag it, then I can actually just tell YouTube to automatically mute the audio at that point in the stream. So that's probably what I'm going to do, is tell it to just, if it flags it, then I'll have it just mute the audio. Alright guys, let's get Ryan in here. Alright. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, how's it going?
It's still going pretty good. Rob's voice is, yeah, definitely still kind of that kind of, same kind of feel. And it's, yeah, definitely something that I would try to go for. How was dinner, Ryan?
It was great. It really was. We had chicken broccoli with oh my gosh, hang on. We had that was it. Just chicken broccoli.
Okay.
Sorry,
yeah,
I thought we had something different.
No, that's good. Hey, that sounds good. Always good.
Very good.
That's nice.
It was very, very good.
We're all discussing some music, both the music that is going into the game and also different types of stuff, and some of the songs that have been cut from the game and might be going back in because they're good. But
okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of them, but I was just showing the one and only song written for the game that actually has written lyrics. And we're discussing that kind of, I don't know, yeah, you actually, you know what kind of song I'm talking about. That song in a video game, especially a story-centered one, that's basically like the altar call, like it's okay to cry, and it's, you know, yeah. And movies have it too, where it's that like, hey, it's okay to cry, everyone else is crying, just freaking cry, man.
Yeah.
Like,
it's okay to share that. It's okay to share that emotion.
Yeah. So, one of my favorites is, I was showing how one of my favorites is To the Moon and Finding Paradise. Both of those have really good emotional lyrical songs at the end. It's the only lyrical song in the game. And then Rob's Voices just shared Eyes on Me from Final Fantasy VIII and Surike Dene, I don't know how to freaking pronounce that, but from Final Fantasy X. So, that one's in Japanese, so I don't really know what they're saying. But still, both of them were kind of the same feel, like, hey, it's okay to cry. That, you know, the director puts his hands on your shoulder and go, hey, just let it out, man.
Absolutely.
So that is, and I mean, obviously, you hear that kind of music all day at your workplace, because that particular place is famous for that kind of music, which is cool.
All about stories.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's see. What else do we have? We're kind of just going through, because I know what I need to inevitably do. I need to write music for the Crucible, but I'm not, like, feeling it. I can't really think of anything. So we're just going through some of the sounds for the game right now. Some of the music.
Yeah. Now, the Crucible, is that the town that looks like a circle, or is that a different?
That's, so that's the town that we did all that, autumn tiles that work on.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yep, that's the point where basically, if you were to play the game right now in its current state, that's the point you'd basically get stuck at, is where you can't go any further. So, it's kind of a turning point in the game, but it's not like the climax. It's pretty close, it's on the rising action, but it's not quite there. It's right as you're starting to approach that peak of the story. And it's Catherine has just realized she's an alchemist. She's just woken up in this town, has no idea where she is, and all these people, unlike the rest of the world, all these people are not focused on the war. These people just want to live in peace, be separate from everybody else. They don't really want to be affiliated with it. And it's basically the ideal situation for the rest of the continent, for the rest of the world in the game. Right. So, but I don't really have like a musical representation of that yet. So
no worries.
So
can't wait to hear.
This is ideally called Weird Person. And it's basically going to be for when you're talking with some awkward character. And it doesn't really have much to it. I'm going to write more to it eventually, but like everyone knows that character in a video game that's just kind of like little bit weird, a little bit awkward. Like Ocarina of Time has what's his name? Like Tingle. He's a little awkward. Yeah. Or like Dolph, there we go. Or trying to think of just your like little awkward, or like freaking like Olaf or Sven. They're both kind of like a little out there, you know. Obviously they're relatable, but every time you talk to them, sometimes they just say something, you just nod and kind of just like, yep, yeah, whatever you say, Olaf, for sure. No, yeah,
I got it. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So Dolph, character in my game, Shadow Fox, I am excited to meet Dolph, gotta say. We'll see what Dolph is like. We gotta go for the Crucible. We gotta see if we can write it. I don't know. We're just gonna start with the piano. If it doesn't, if it doesn't work, then the Crucible. Put my name on it here. Okay. There we go. Staff spacing. Space that out a little bit. See, now you have to play the whole game. He's in Arc 2 on the Cliffs Roads. Jesus. I'll see if I can get that far. I'm a type of person, see, I'm a weird guy when it comes to video games. It's like, even games that a lot of people can play for like 6 hours, like, I see people playing games like Red Dead for like 10 hours straight. I can't do it, and I don't know why. Brandon makes fun of me because I'll sit and play Tetris for 15 minutes instead of sitting and playing Minecraft for 3 hours. And it's not that I don't enjoy playing those games, it's just a matter of like, Red Dead, you get in a quest and you're stuck in it for 45 minutes to an hour, you know, right. And it's not that it doesn't catch my attention, it's just a matter of like, I don't always have that kind of time, or like, I don't want to get sucked, I actually don't want to get sucked in for 5 hours because I have other things I want to do or need to do. So, don't be upset, Shadow Fox, if I play your game for 45 minutes and say I want to take a break. It's nothing bad on your game, it's just a matter of that's how I play all games, including making my own game. Like, you saw me write music for 45 minutes and then be like, let's take a break and just look at some of our other music. It's just how I play. So upset. Rage. So, that's just how I play, is I like to take a healthy break every once in a while. It also makes your game last longer. You get more out of your money that way if you can savor it a little while. Because if you buy a game with 12 hours of gameplay and you play it all in one sitting, then you wasted your money. You got 12 hours out of it, which is cool, I guess, but then like you have nothing else to do.
It's like, do I play the game again, or
yeah,
yep. And even that, is there any downloadable content? Because if not,
yeah, so
play Mario Kart 8.
Yeah. Well, that's like my thing with Skyrim, is like there's so much content in Skyrim, which I love, and for the money you get a lot of content for something like Skyrim, and then like, but you can beat the main story in 5 hours, which is fine. But like, if you play that main story in 5 JRPGs, yes, they are famous for having the longest freaking stories ever. Yeah. All right, and I know Shadow Fox has, as someone who has played my game 100 times and playtest probably over 1,000 times, I know what you mean. Exactly, there's a major investment of time. So, which we're hoping to do with Lost Legend, at least to an extent. I don't know if Brandon wants me sharing this or not, or if this is anything I'm allowed to share. So don't tell Brandon. Hashtag don't tell Brandon. We're actually even gonna make that a freaking hashtag. Hashtag don't tell Brandon. There are at this moment 3 different endings for the game, and it is player controlled based on the player's decisions they're gonna make throughout the game. So, yeah.
Interesting.
There's gonna be, and 2 of them are gonna be really difficult, and only one of them is like the true ending. Like, I have not played Breath of the Wild, but Brandon has completely 100% played Breath of the Wild. So if anyone on the stream has ever played Zelda Breath of the Wild, you know that there's that really special ending that is like the 100% ending that is the actual true ending. Think about all the endings and game over endings, chills. Yeah. So basically there's a 5% chance to get one ending, a 5% chance. I should say it's not really a percent chance either. It's more like there's a scale that determines what ending you get based on your actions. It's a point scale, and your actions either remove or increase a certain number of points. And if you hit points from 0 to 4, then 5 bad endings, 2 good endings. Yep, Persona does the same thing. Exactly. Basically, if you get a score from 0 to 4, then you get the bad ending, basically, the evil ending. If you get a score from 5 to 94, then you get the middle of the road ending. And then if you get a score from 95 to 99, then you get the true ending. So it's very hard to get the true ending, but it adds a little bit of replayability, so that's hopefully something.
Well, and it makes the player want to engage in playing the game again, which then allows you to say, okay, well, I made this decision this time. Let me go this route.
Yep, and it makes some replayability possible, which is hopefully what we're trying to do. New game, hashtag New Game Plus.
Well, and it gets you to connect with those characters again that you say, man, I wish I could, talk to so-and-so, and then, now that I get to play the game again, hey, you get to see that favorite person.
And it's definitely a matter of you're going to see characters with different dialogue or be able to do something different with them, or perhaps they would be still alive versus dead. So there's a lot of stuff that we're planning on doing.
So many things, man. This is exciting.
This is stuff that's been barely implemented, and it's a matter of furthering it. We have lots of plans. It's just a matter of finishing. And we also, as much as we love developing all parts of our game on stream, there's stuff that we don't want to do on stream because we don't want to spoil it for everybody. So, that
makes sense. You want to keep that element of surprise.
Exactly. So then that's one of the things, that there's parts of this that we're gonna not spoil. As far as the Crucible, I have no idea what to do musically. I have no idea.
That's the town that's the fall one.
Yep. Super Boss. Oh Jesus, we're not writing boss music right now. Maybe eventually. So I want to write something that's. It needs to be dark, but it can't be sad. This is more of almost an oblivious town. They know what's going on, but they don't want a part of it. They just want to be happy and apart from everything. So maybe trying to think of we're going to go with the key of E flat major, because that is the famous key that a lot of love songs are written in. Especially in the 80s and 90s, if you listen to some kind of Michael Jackson love song or NSYNC or Backstreet Boys love song or something like that. I would almost go as far as to say some of the Disney love songs are probably in E flat major. So I would have to check on that. I'm not quite certain, but I would go as far as to say they probably are. And it's just the feel of a song in E flat that is kind of. It's that classic, slightly cheesy love song feel.
Right.
But
you enjoy it when you hear it. And you
yeah.
Oh, it's nice,
Yeah, there's something slightly romantic and.
Yeah.
Here, wait a second. Let's move this all forward one.
Hope everyone's having a great day.
Absolutely.
Today. Definitely. I got a lot of house projects done, and then super stoked because I'm drawing out where I'm going to put the panels in the studio, so I'm really happy about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan is bettering his voice acting space, getting a lot of noise canceling, noise reducing panels, so that's always really fun and exciting because a recording studio just doesn't look right and feel right without the foam. And obviously, like, it sounds better, but it doesn't feel right until you have the
and the
foam.
type of microphone that I have is an AKG P220. Now, this is a really good microphone.
What is it?
But an AKG P220.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry. I just wanted to look it up real quick.
No. It's a really good microphone that I have had a lot of great quality-wise with it. Like, I love it. I've been very fortunate to, and early in the Discord days when I was joining into Lost Legend, you know, I sent you guys that picture of, hey, this is what my setup looks like. Because, you know, you can kind of see where the panels are to block the sound.
Yeah.
But I have a Chaotica eyeball, which does really great. But I also love having the padding around me because then it feels like, okay, now I'm in a studio. And of course, you got to make it work and do the best you can. So,
like we were saying earlier with Jacksepticeye just using pillows, that's what he had. So,
yeah.
Or, you know, someone starting out, if you really need to do voice recording, just sit in your closet. The clothes will do a lot of noise canceling.
One of my mentors and friends, Gabe Kunda, who is in My Hero Academia, he literally, for any voiceover session that if he's on the road, if he can't do it in like the hotel room like area or something, he'll literally throw the sheets over himself, like you know, and he'll record everything because that way then it's all the sound is trapped in that one little area.
Yep, and that's the best way to do it, is have something heavy like a blanket or something just to block all the sound coming in and leaving. Yes, Shadow Fox, you can buy foam. You can get some on Amazon or like Guitar Center or B&H Photo Video. It's not... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said I got the 48 pack. So.
Yep. So, and you can buy them in all different shapes and sizes and thicknesses and qualities but yeah, it definitely is something that is fairly widely available. And it's not terribly expensive until you decide to do like a whole room with it. Then it gets expensive.
Well, and then of course, then when you look at everything, you say, okay, I may have to cut you, and you hate to do it, but you may have to cut a piece of the foam to fit around a corner or wedge it and stuff.
Exactly.
Shout out to Elvin, who said, "All good hootenanny." That's right. Yeah, I threw in the hootenanny right there. Bam.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Shadow Fox, you can buy foam, or you can also do things like put a blanket around you, like Ryan was just saying, if you really need to do some stuff and you don't have a good area available. I really need to put some foam up behind me, but I also really want to put green screen stuff, so I might, I don't know. I might also just talk with Brandon and be like, yo, can I just, whenever I want to stream, just sit at your house and use our proper studio instead of just using my own house. From Rubber Place local to me, which is super helpful in making my little studio corner. Exactly. Wait, did you guys buy a house, Ryan?
Oh yeah. We have been in our house for coming up on 3 years, and I'm sorry, 4 years in September.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's good. Yeah. I used to live in an apartment for 5 years, and it was good. It was great. It was really, really great. But we always wanted to try to get a house, and we're very happy that we did. So, and eventually, which I would love to, like I said, as I mentioned to you earlier, Adam, I'd love to build a little booth.
proper, like, yeah.
Yeah, like a 3x4 with a 6-foot, tall ceiling. That way it gives you enough little room and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much, Elvin. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been really really cool. There's a lot of great house projects, and I feel like once you do one house project, you just gotta now I gotta do another one.
Yep, and one always pops up after another.
Yeah, it's like nothing is done, which is great.
Yep,
because then of course, it gets your mind thinking of what can you do next.
So yeah, it keeps you thinking of improvements, which is good.
Absolutely. But yeah, definitely with the panels and stuff, I'm super stoked.
That's good.
Absolutely. Rob said, "Here's a piece of music that I think may help you from something's kind of off perspective."
We will open that. Final Fantasy, yep, always a good place to draw some inspiration from, especially in the RPG franchise. It's from your hometown that you find out has been taken over by an evil archfiend. Alright. Yeah, some kind of evil presence, you can tell, kind of music. I like it, yeah. And this is... definitely some kind of evil presence music. I like it. Rob's Voice says, thank you for your musical suggestions and I don't know what else to call it. Musical suggestions and examples. I appreciate it. It's always welcome. Because sometimes I don't always know where to go for some inspiration. Always happy to help with inspiration. Thank you, Rob's Voices. Appreciate your help. Okay. Let's do... yeah, throwing the Hootenanny out there.
Wow. Woo.
We love the Hootenanny. Dude, that is...
I'm so happy that you guys let me name it. That was the happiest moment of my life.
It needed a name. You're right. You were right when you said it needed a name, and it did. So...
And it's oh man, that was the coolest thing. And then I was looking at other like yesterday, I think there was a ship also in one of the little sections. I was gonna go, oh, what's that name of that show? Like, I didn't know what
yeah. Rift sounds like Pokemon Center vibes. I really must have a good ear. Because I just go into a room in my game and start jamming out. Yeah, and if you can start hearing what rooms are supposed to sound like music-wise, and right there is your musical talent. You just have to put that onto paper somehow. And a good way to do that is to like open up your phone and open the voice recorder app so you remember how it goes, how your tune goes. I do that a lot in the car. A really famous song. God, what's it called? Um, it wasn't. It might have been Seal Lullaby. Ryan might actually know Seal Lullaby, because it was written by one of your guys' composers. Stayed in there for 10 minutes exactly.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Fuck. I forget who wrote it. We played it in band. Eric Whitacre. He's one of your more famous.
Absolutely.
And it's actually got lyrics, I'm sure. Yeah, album version with lyrics. One of the counter melodies famously was recorded in his car on his phone, and I've heard from my band director, who apparently had a conversation with him over dinner, that it started out going, Seal Lullaby, counter melody for this instrument, and he just literally started humming it in his car. And like, this song is, it's a really, really emotional, strong song. I'm not going to play all of it because, again, I don't want to get copyright flagged. But that is very important to just always, like, it's kind of like being an animator or a sketch artist or even a regular artist. When you get an idea, you just have to write it down so that you can expand upon it when you actually have the time to do so. Mm-hmm. LOL, bro. Handsome Shadow Fox, what? What are you lolling about, bro? I literally have 3 people in Discord. Nice. Hey, you getting people? 3 people's a start, man. I don't know. I just randomly come up with an idea. Yeah, Shadow Fox, this website here, Noteflight, is really good for just getting a quick musical idea down. And I've been using it for writing most, and boom, start writing it. Exactly.
Does Quinn Spike have a theme song?
He does not yet, and I can definitely write one. Handsome Shadow Fox, Arc 2 was done this way. Exactly, and you just have to write down an idea when you get it, because you don't want to forget it, and you don't know when you're going to have time to get back to it. So that's definitely one of the more professional tips with about any field, is as soon as you have an idea, you gotta move with it. Quinn Spike does not yet have a theme, although he definitely could. So I think as we start expanding him more as a character, we can definitely come up with something for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used it for drum cadences for high school. Yes. God, I freaking love our drum cadences in high school. Like I said, I was a saxophonist. I freaking loved marching band. I still love marching band to this day. It's like my guilty pleasure. Ryan, and the 3 o'clock parade every day has high school marching bands from all across the world.
Yeah.
In 2014, performed at Disney World.
Did you really?
I did. It was the actual performance experience was fantastic. I loved it. There is a bit of an issue with our color guard, and your guys' cast members helped us out a little bit because it was really hot and they wore shorts and they didn't meet the dress code. So they actually were allowed to borrow some extra clothes from the wardrobe.
That's really nice.
That's really awesome. So we were really, really happy because our color guard was in tears because, you once in a lifetime opportunity to be, when you don't work at Disney, to be backstage at Disney, and we're, excited. And our color guard, I mean, they're all in tears because they're thinking, that they're not going to be able to perform, and they really got helped out. So that's awesome. So
it is absolutely.
Unfortunately, the second half of that is we got to work with one of your guys' performers. He's also a saxophone player. God, what is he? He does one of the live performances around the park. He's an ex-member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't remember his name, but you might know who I'm talking about. I'm sure. But he might not even still work there. I don't know, because it's been 6 years since I've been there. But anyway, we worked with him, and we played the from the Lion King. We played the the Stampede music.
Oh.
And then Ursula's theme from Little Mermaid. We played those both, and we had an opportunity to work with him in like a music, basically an education course. Like a quick 3-hour learn from a professional experience. It was really awesome.
Cool.
And we were supposed to get a CD after it, which didn't get fully made because whoever was in the recording booth that day didn't do too good. But I mean, it was still a fantabulous experience. So hey, if you're in high school and your band director is talking about going to Disney, or you have an opportunity to and you hear about something like that, or an opportunity, do take it up. Or if you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to go, do it, man. Seriously. I was worried about it because I wasn't raised the biggest Disney kid. Dude, when they call it the happiest place on earth, it really freaking is. Even if you're not the biggest Disney kid in the world, it is still a super fun experience. It really is. From start to finish, it really is. So, dark choices, I like it for the Seal Lullaby? Yeah, there's a lot of dark undertones with such a happy lullaby song. A lot of dark undertones. Or unless you're meaning with this here that I'm writing. The 2 Disney songs I'm at. Yes. Here's the thing, Emrime. People love dark music. People love playing dark music. And it's more fun to play. I don't know why, but it gets the high schoolers going. When our band director did the laugh at the end of Ursula's theme. That was freaking awesome. So cool. I still somewhere, and I lost it. I still have somewhere, unless it got thrown out somewhere, I have a picture collage DVD of the whole band and our days there. I still gotta either find it or somehow get a hold of a copy of it from somebody. But yeah, totally get a High School Musical theater teacher director here. Yes. Yep, Emrim. People, when you get a song that is in B flat doesn't always do it, right? Concert B flat doesn't always do it. Sometimes you gotta just add another sharp, or add another couple sharps. Everyone's got a darker side, but they never get to let it out. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta go with concert G. As an alto and baritone sax player, I love playing in 2 sharps. I love playing in D for saxophone. And my music knowledge is failing me here. That's concert A. So sometimes you just got to go with something like A. Or fun fact, I think I said this the other day, but not all, but a lot of the music in Lost Legend is in D flat major or B flat minor, all with 5 flats. Emrim. By the way, you're as a musical theater and teacher director. I don't know how much actual band stuff you do, but if you ever want some music for the band, call me M. All right, perfect. That's a lot easier than trying to figure out how I want to say that.
M is actually one of the voice actresses who auditioned for Lost Legend.
Sweet. Yes. Probably within the next couple days, Brandon and I will be sitting around a table with a notepad and a list of our characters and just properly putting down names where we think they should go and properly, excuse me, Jesus, properly putting everybody down and making a list of everybody that we still need to contact for the future, and also adding more roles, because we had a very large number of people apply for a very small number of roles. So basically there's going to be a couple people that we contact, and everyone else is going to be like, listen, you might not have gotten Bolton, for example. Enjoying all the background production streams. This is neat. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy. There's gonna be a lot of hey, you might not be good for. We don't think you're the best fit for Bolton, or in your case, you might not be the best fit for Sarah Connor, but you might be good for Evelyn, or you know, there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that where there's like, hey, we want to cast someone else for this part, but we love your voice, so we're gonna offer you these other couple options if you're interested in those. So. Absolutely. 60 students auditioning for 7 speaking roles. Totally get it. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Are you all with like choir type stuff, or do you also direct like a concert band as well? Because I know some schools will have one director for each, or they don't have a band program and it's just a choir program. So as a marching band and concert band student myself, I'm just curious.
Let's see. M, Elvin, and Rob, as far as I can see, and Uriel, who was in here earlier. They all have submitted their voice auditions.
Awesome.
And definitely just want to throw this out there that if anyone also, I know I put it in the chat, but if anyone needs an extra ear, I would be more than happy to sit down, listen to it. If you need any direction,
absolutely,
we're all here to help.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that I have really loved with the direction our community is going, is that it has become a hub for everybody with any kind of talent, even if you just love playing games, to just come together and share their talent, whether you're a voice actor or a voice actress, or you're an artist, or you're a play tester, or you're interested in making your own game. I think we've created a community that is really happy to help everybody, and that is what I most love about all of this, is that if you were to post on the community like, hey, I'm starting work on my own game, or hey, I'm an up-and-coming voice actor, or I'm an up-and-coming artist, drop yourself in the community. We would be happy to look at what you got. And even if we don't pick you up, there's so many other people in the community making their own games, or know someone who is making their own game, that you're sure to get picked up by someone who fits with you. Tester, but learning to create games. Exactly. That's how Emma started. Emma started testing our games and was like, you know what, I want to make my own. So that's really good. Reading shout out for Ryan for being a fantastic dude, providing some great insight on my auditions. As always, Ryan, he does deserve a fantastic shout out. Ryan is a big face in this community. He loves being active in this community, and we love Ryan. So yes, absolutely, Rob's voice has definitely got to shout out Ryan.
I appreciate that, and I love to help others, because that's what someone did for me when I started out in voiceover, and I've had the wonderful privilege of being in the industry for 6 years and know so much of hearing my coaches say sometimes the repetitive things that finally it's stuck, and it's like, now I can pass on that knowledge to people who may need that extra encouragement or guidance. And it's been a really wonderful ride getting to chat with everyone. And I got to chat with some people from all over the world. In fact, I got to chat with people from Canada, Serbia, Egypt, Australia, like, just to name a few. It's really cool to get to hear why people want to do something, because they have a passion for it. But it's also really cool as to how they played the character and what they can do to bring the character to life. And my job as an extra ear is to encourage anyone to always feel free to, don't be afraid to act and be the character.
Exactly.
That's the key. And if I can be that person who motivates someone, then my job is a success.
Exactly. And absolutely, for sure. And that's why Brandon and I, when we sit down, we're gonna do our in fact, I'm almost gonna go as far as to say that I don't think there's anyone who auditions that is gonna be told no. There will be times, obviously, like I just said, there's not enough parts that we actually firstly put out there for everyone to get. Like, I mean, we had like 3 or 4 different people audition for Bolton. You know, it's just because he was one of the few male characters that was on the sheet. So obviously, not everyone's getting Bolton. But there's other larger male character roles, or even some minor character roles, that if we listen to your voice, and again, you guys are kind of in the dark because you don't know all the voices that we have for all the characters when we imagine these characters. But if we listen to a voice and go, wait a second, I feel like that voice really, really fits for the king. You know, and we approach him and be like, listen, we would love to hire you to do the king. Then that's one of the reasons we don't want to like tell anyone no, is like there's always going to be a spot, because if your voice sounds a lot more like a different character, it's the same thing with going around and starting to write music. Like sometimes you start writing a song and you plan for it to go one way and it turns out going a different way. Like writing a story, you start it one way and you're like, wait a second, this is going a different direction, and then you just embrace that and you keep it going in that direction.
Absolutely.
So like if I hear that and go immediately, I go, man, that sounds like the King Learstorm, then that is probably what's going to happen a lot of times. Like, wait a second, that might not be a Bolton, but that could be this guy or this guy, and that is definitely something that I hope everyone is up for, because I mean, again, not everyone can be the few characters that we put out. So, Emrim, I also love the teaching aspect. I did about 3 years of graphic design in high school, and that sounds like a bit much for high school, but we had a career technical aspect in high school that didn't really take off. But I did for two years, I did about 3 hours a day in my graphic design class, and like Photoshop and Illustrator. I was really good in Photoshop, so good that my teacher approached me and asked me to teach the class on Fridays and do a lesson plan that I called Fun Photoshop Friday.
That's awesome.
So, understand, change music 3 times already. Exactly. Like, again, this right here on the screen is one of the things that started as Castberg. And I'm like, nope. And if you notice, the title of it sounds like a middle school play, because it sounds like your cheesy 80s middle school play. And let me play it for you. And M is probably just going to go, yep, that sounds like some kind of cheesy, upbeat 80s play. It's really repetitive, but like, I just went with it. I'm never going to do anything more with this. Starts twitching.
Elvin says he uses GarageBand for
GarageBand's, again, it's a good option for getting stuff on paper and just getting some kind of vibe going. I used GarageBand when I was in school a little bit. It started out as Castberg, and obviously this is something I'm probably never going to finish, but I just titled it Sounds Like a Middle School Play because it kind of sounded like some cheesy middle school play. So I apologize for activating your PTSD there. We're going to get off of that so that you don't experience any trauma there. I added a little bit to the Crucible, but it didn't quite. Thank you. You're welcome. That's, for whatever reason, I'm not feeling the Crucible. So we're going to take, again, I know I didn't really do anything on the Crucible, but we're going to take a break from that. It is, after all, just chatting. So we're just going to chat and look at some stuff. I just sit in my bed watching TV and start playing with GarageBand. Hey, exactly. Sometimes that's the best way. Just watch TV, has something else going. Absolutely, man. There we go. I have a whole Photoshop folder of, large icons. Let's do this. So I have like a whole bunch of stuff and these are all old, because when I graduated in 2015, my teacher's like, dude, the problem with that is now I have like 1 day a week where I don't have a lesson plan, because my lesson plan was to let you teach. So I ended up making video tutorials for all the lessons that I did in high school so that she could play them in class. So like, where's some of the here we go. So here's some of the completed Photoshop stuff I did. So like it was all lesson plan, so it got from easier easier to harder. So obviously like this flower started out as this flower. It went from color to black and white. And like this car was like a really minor color correction from this into this like pinkish red. This one was standalone. This was just like let's create some kind of abstract like desktop background. It's pretty cool. Just inspire a little bit of coloring creativity. Everyone likes to color. Realize this game may not be good as a text base. Looking into their options. Elven Ranger, me, Brandon, and about a whole bunch of other people on the Discord are working in RPG Maker. And if you just add it to your wish list, it goes on sale a lot, especially since the summer sale is probably going to come up pretty soon. It's $90 to get in the engine, but it just went on sale a couple months ago for $20, and I'm sure it'll go on sale again pretty soon. The RPG Maker is a really good engine to get started in because it's a lot easier to get something down than say like Unreal Engine. Because if Brandon and I were working in something as complicated as Unreal, then we would still be making the tutorial area and learning how to use the engine.
Yeah.
So that's why we chose RPG Maker, is because it was as complicated as we use MV. We use RPG Maker MV, but a lot of people also like VX Ace, although I do not have any experience in that. But MV is what we're using. There's tons of plugins for it. It's really easy to modify the tiles, add your own music. You can go as deep into it or as not so deep into it as you want. And that is why we chose it, because it did as much as we needed it to for the story we wanted to tell. Nothing more and nothing less. Yeah. 70's not bad. It was 90 when we got it. It's always worth a wish list. And there's about 1 million tutorials on the internet on how to use it. You can watch any of our old game dev streams. Elite Four Kong Ming, Kermageddon, on the Discord has a lot of experience. He's always willing to help. He has a couple tutorials on the Discord, and he has past streams. Sozanak or Sozan on the Discord has a lot of experience in it. There's a lot of people. Supadish has some experience. Shadow Fox, I forgot about him. I just scrolled up. He's in there. If he's still watching, Shadow Fox has some experience in it. Trying to scroll up and see if there's anyone else that has joined our chat today. Don't think there's anyone else who's joined our chat today that I can think of. But there's a lot of people that...
Joseph Develops.
Joseph Develops. That's a really good shout. Heroic Zephyr as well. She is making her own RPG Maker game. There's a lot of people both in our own group and on YouTube that can teach you how to use it, and you can get to making your first town and NPCs and have it at a pretty good playable state within like an hour. So it's really good for getting something down and playable. This Photoshop document was made just from this picture of the Earth satellite texture. This sun here was made from scratch. This was made from scratch. This is my friend Sam, who started as this. He started as this, and then I did this to him. It looks pretty cool. We got this, which is pretty cool. The background started as completely black and white, and she was in color. Did this, kind of a tiger meld. It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
The final project. Do I not have the actual final project on here? Oh, it's right here. So this is one of my favorite ever Photoshop documents that I've ever done. And it's because I did it my senior year during the Super Bowl. And I'm not a really big sports fan. So I'm like, I'll just do something just to occupy the time. And Photoshop, like many other softwares, is one of those things that if you just play, you can learn by playing, just by doing stuff. Just by just spending time coming up with something. So I told myself, you know what would be cool if I made UFOs attack New York City. So that's what I did. So we got like the Eiffel Tower blowing up over there and some more UFOs in the background. I did some gradient work. I can actually bring up the Photoshop document, I think. So it was just one of those things like, I know what I want to do, now I got to teach myself how to do it. And so like, there's a lot of stuff like, yeah, here's the Photoshop document. So like, here's before the color, like color balance, getting rid of that makes the photo look horrible. Turn it back on, it looks a lot better. Doesn't look as eerie without the orangish tint to it. Get rid of some of these UFOs, the beams. Oh, these are the particles in the background. More UFOs. There we go. Brightness and contrast for the building there. It was too dark. Or too bright, I'm sorry, because it was in front of... It was on the wrong side of that beam, so I fixed that a little bit. The, there we go, the smoke cloud coming up from everything. There's that. This scattering bits of the building falling. Of course, the overall picture of New York there, you can see all the... I do love Photoshop, and it's almost a necessity to have some kind of Photoshop or GIMP or something, or Photopea, Elite Four likes to use when he's doing his game dev. Stuff like that. Purchase now, we'll download and play with it. Absolutely, Elven Ranger, and if you have any questions, throw something in the community is always a good idea, or we'll go to YouTube real quick. I learned from the very first versions of Lost Legends started as really the what's his name? The quest with what's his name? Joshua. Mm-hmm. In Tutoria, and you didn't even start on the boat yet. The boat wasn't a thing. The dock wasn't a thing. I learned by making that really quick stuff. It is a great community, man. I learned by following these tutorials by SR Dude. Some random dude is the actual name. This 30 video tutorial that looks like a lot, but the videos are only like 6 minutes each. So you can watch 2 or 3 of them, get something good. He explains everything really well. There's also another really good RPG maker girl. Her name is Echo607. That's her. She's really good with teaching people how to do stuff. She shows her progression through making her own game. Yes, Echo's really good. Welcome back, Shadow Fox. Elven Ranger just got RPG Maker. So we need to welcome him into the RPG Maker community. So thank you so much for being a part of us. One of us. I feel like we're part of the Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Yes. She has tons of tutorials. I mean, like, look at this. She has 54 tutorials here. Exactly. And there's tons, not just her, but there's tons of people on YouTube. And, of course, her whole channel is basically developing her game. And there's tons of people that are sharing their experience, which is one of the reasons we're streaming. Is that so hopefully somebody can watch it and learn something when they're making their own game or something like that. Technically started with Game Maker Studio. Yeah, so there's a lot of really good people in the community. There's forums all over for RPG Maker. We love this community. Like I said, Elite Four, Shadow Fox, they're both really good in RPG Maker. Sazerac is really good. Here we go. Anyone an Animal Crossing fan?
Yeah.
We got the New Horizons theme here.
Nice.
I wish it was done by ear. I had a little bit of help looking over some scores and what key it was in and stuff, but some of it's done by ear. Some of it's got some... Thankful Ryan got me into this community. Absolutely. I thank Ryan and you both for that. because we're glad to have you, and the
that.
RPG Maker community is glad to have you.
Thank you, Elvin.
Let's see what else. Sorry, I just kicked my desk there. That was probably really loud. I've got is this in the Lost Legend? Yes, it was. I've got so many songs. Like, here's the ending piano music to Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, which sounds a lot better on piano than it does on the Game Boy. Gotta admit.
Such good music.
It really is. A lot of my inspiration for the music in Lost Legend comes from the town music in Pokemon games. Because I always thought they did really good at, like, when you hear a song from a town in a Pokemon game, you know what town it is.
Yeah.
Like, you hear Lavender Town and you know the music. You know.
Intense and spooky and...
Beep, beep, is... Beep, beep. Yep, there it is. And then there's like
and of course the NPCs made it even creepier with their dialogue and stuff.
Exactly. So some random dude, yes, some random dude, totally. There's that Elven Ranger. That is something that definitely there's a plethora of for RPG Maker's plugins. If there's something that you can't do in RPG Maker by itself, look at the plugins, because there's about a bajillion of them. There's a way to do it, I promise. So, did you guys know that Unhinged, as a title, started as a potential sitcom? I for whatever reason, wanted to start... Like, I love the sitcom genre. Everything from, like, Cheers to MASH to even my preteen days watching Drake and Josh. Like, I love that genre of just jokes and laugh track and everything being so lighthearted. So I really wanted to write something like that, but then I realized that I can't really write a sitcom story for some reason. I couldn't find anything that was good. And then my only place to put it would be YouTube, which arguably is kind of a dying format. If you're just now getting into it, it's kind of hard to get started, extremely difficult to get started, and find traction. So we ended up pivoting and just doing our game dev under the title Unhinged.
That's really cool, man. Learn a little bit about the behind the scenes and stuff.
Yeah, and eventually we might... It had a theme song, is where this is all leading into, is I wrote a theme song for Unhinged as a sitcom, and it might end up seeing some light of day eventually when we get further into this. We never actually sang it, though it has lyrics. So here it is for the first time ever on stream. Here is the Unhinged opening to the never gonna ever exist sitcom Unhinged. And again, it's not sung, so you kind of have to imagine the lyrics with the clarinet sound. Thank you for the posture check, Elven Ranger.
Yeah.
Sitting up straight there. There we go. Sitting up good and straight. Ryan, got your posture fixed there?
Oh, yeah, I've been standing.
Nice, cool.
for like a long time, but...
That was cute. Thanks, Em. It was purposely trying to sound cute and cheesy, but that was the goal. So I'm glad I achieved that. And it was meant because Brandon and I are so sometimes our personalities clash. We work together, but sometimes there's time where we look at each other and he'll be like, "Adam, no, you're not allowed to do that," or I'll be like, "Brandon, no, you're not allowed to do that. This is no." Like, I have a habit of taking a joke too far, And that's not a matter of like I do something bad. It's a matter of like I just stay on the same joke for too long.
Right.
So, famously, Brandon let me have a joke. We have a storyboard version of Lost Legend where we kind of were like, we need to put a definitive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, order to the story, including the lore and everything. And then maybe we can put pictures to it so there's like a clear, just like they do with TV shows and stuff. Right. We need a clear direction. So we did that, and I'm like, Brandon, I actually didn't even tell him, because we have the storyboard, and on the title page it says Lost Legend, and we put a picture of Catherine, and I was typing this out. I'm like, oh, this would be so cool. At the bottom of it, I put now in Technicolor and stereo sound. And Brandon's like, dear God, Adam, keep that in there. That's hilarious. So I'm like, okay. So really quick, I went into Audacity. I used to have Audition. I wish I had Audition still. Adobe Audition is so freaking good.
Adobe Audition.
It's so good. It's okay. Real quick, I'll fill you into Audition versus Audacity, but in a second. Basically, I ended up recording a voice that was like a vaudeville announcer, like you used to hear before the TV shows. Like CBS is proud to present Star Trek, the next generation, now in Technicolor and stereo sound. And it used to be that really washed out sounding radio voice. So I went and recorded that and added that to the slide. He's like, okay, that's as far as you're allowed to go. That's as funny as it's gonna get. Now drop it. I'm like, absolutely, that is as funny as it's gonna get. I will drop it now. I was so happy he let me have the joke. What have I missed? We've been looking at Photoshop documents, and we've been looking at old stuff for the Unhinged channel. Ask Ryan about Carrie the musical.
Oh my gosh, what a cool memory. Thank you. Thank you for that. Carrie the musical was a really cool opportunity. Mm-hmm. The team, Elvin and them, did a fabulous job with bringing together these characters to life, and the music was great. They sang and stuff, and it was just a really cool moment to where it brought people together. Mm-hmm. And it's a dark kind of musical, but mm-hmm. it's one of those things to where it was such a cool opportunity to be a part. That was actually my first time ever. I've only seen a couple of musicals in my life with my wife, but mm-hmm. that was my first one that I ever went by myself. And but yeah, I got to record like the intro audio.
That's awesome.
To Carrie, which was great. They wanted this kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but it was more of a kind of a sinister, dark kind of theme, but it was so cool. It was a really, and it was a voice that resonated around in this chamber, and it was kind of around there. That was the coolest thing. But yeah, Mike, I can't thank you enough for that. Elvin Ranger, sorry.
Awesome.
I can't thank you enough for that.
Sweet.
That was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I miss so much being on that stage when I was in concert band, and both being on the football field too. I know Em knows what I mean. I'm sure. I know I'm sure she's sick of it. But I would do. I wouldn't do anything, but there's a lot. If I could be back on that high school stage again, or out on that football field, I would probably cry. It was around the same time he got Crow's Eye.
Oh yeah, that's a video game that I'm in. Dr.
Right.
William Haldwick.
Of course.
He's an oddball kind of character. That was really cool.
So what we were talking about, Audacity versus Audition. So basically it's like GIMP versus Photoshop, right? GIMP is the free version, and it kind of does what you need it to do in a pinch, and it's free, so you can't really ask for much. But once you try Photoshop, you never want to go back. And I mean, yeah, everyone's like, oh, I gotta relearn Photoshop, but it's worth it. And Photoshop does everything so much better. And yes, you have to pay for Photoshop, but it's you get what you pay for. Same thing with Audition and Audacity. Is once I used Audition, I was like, man, I have to learn it. I have to. I need to get used to the new software. It's got so many extra stuff that I don't need. But even this little tiny thing did it for me was the adaptive noise reduction. And how good it was that it actually would analyze and all I had to do every time I recorded a piece of audio, I just had to leave like 2 or 3 seconds at the beginning, turn on the adaptive noise reduction afterward, and yeah, it'd take a couple seconds to process. But you couldn't even tell there was noise in it. There wasn't any distortion, there wasn't any kind of it didn't sound any different. It just didn't sound bad. There was no like background noise on the wish list. Being Canadian, the exchange rate screws me so hard on anything that's paid monthly. Ooh, yeah, that's another reason I hate the paid monthly thing with Adobe. Like, right. Yeah, you always get the latest version of it, but like the exchange rate screws you. So I'm sorry that it's not something you can use. I apologize.
But definitely, Audacity is free.
Yes, and it's definitely an option.
Yeah, it's definitely an option. But me personally, like if I had to choose Adobe Audition the whole way, like I love it. I love it. I love it. I actually used that in radio when I was in radio back in South Carolina.
Exactly. Use Noteflight to transcribe the music. I stayed up 36 hours to get the music done for the show. Use Audacity for my audition takes. Exactly. I have no problems with Audacity. And Audacity, because again, I don't have Audition right now. Because when I used Audacity, may not have actually paid for it, but I no longer have it because I did not pay for it, and I didn't want to use Audition for the game, which we're making money off of, if I didn't own Audacity legally. So that's why I'm not using it. Same thing with Photoshop is I wasn't going to use Photoshop for this game until I bought it, and I did, and I own a couple licenses to Photoshop now because I love it so much. Yeah, definitely. I used to use Audition a lot, and I love it. But Audacity is free, so if that's what you got, then that's what you got. You got to start somewhere. And again, for being free, Audacity is not actually that bad. Again, for being free,
right?
And because it's free, there's a lot of tutorials on it and stuff on the internet. So like you can learn a lot with Audacity. Blame local library for teching protocols. Local libraries are usually pretty nice, but if they're the ones that screw you over, that's not good. Oh, excuse me.
Whew. Oh, bless you.
Whew. Yeah, I actually love. It's never been something that I've been like passionate about pursuing in like the standard teaching facilities, but I've always liked the idea of teaching and helping people learn. But being a traditional teacher never spoke to me. Especially because it's so hard to be a teacher, basically having to double major, and it's so expensive. And I don't know how you did at M, but I know a lot of areas you basically have to double major. In the state I'm in, you basically have to double major to get your teaching license. So, not really something that I have the money or time to do. But it's always been something I've been interested in. So if I can help someone learn with some videos on the internet, then it makes me really happy.
Absolutely.
Which is what it comes down back to for Ryan too, is being able to help somebody expand their talents and further their career and stuff like that. If someone looks at these videos 10 years down the line, making their first video game and gets some learning from it, then I will be happy. I was lucky mine was still a 4-year program. I have a bachelor's of education with a major in drama and a minor in social studies. Yeah. So I remember hearing my poor band director go, yep, I had a major in both teaching and music. And he told us about it all the time. And I was like, nope, can't, not doing that. I remember there was some kind of contest he went into. That I'm low end of the payment totem pole. Exactly, is you have to do that extra work, and teachers don't get paid nearly enough for all the trouble they go through. So again, and just like I've told all you nurses and stuff out there, teachers, you guys unfortunately are getting the short end of the stick here and don't get paid enough for what you do, and you guys are also not able to even do your guys' job right now. And I know that the vast majority of teachers love to teach, and you love your kids, and you love everybody you talk with, and as much as sometimes they make you want to, scream, I know a lot of you guys love your job. So my heart goes out to you guys as well. I am teaching remotely. It's really rough to teach drama and dance via Zoom. I can only imagine. That's a good song. I can only imagine. Have a good stream. Going to work on things. All right, man. Shadow Fox. Enjoy working on things. I hope you get some progress and some stuff done. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. And my high school band teacher, there was some kind of contest. I don't remember if it was, I think it was when he was in college. There was some kind of contest for who could play the most scales. And it wasn't just your major and minor scales. It was your blues scales and your pentatonic scales and all your really weird, scales that, are in the back of the book that no one ever uses. Rob's Voices, take care, man. Have an excellent evening. Great to catch up with you, man. I'll talk to you later. Catch up with you on Discord. Yes, gotta drop the SS Hootenanny, of course. Let's drop the Hootenanny up in here, and to Catherine, and just throw a whole bunch of stuff in there. All right.
Block, hearts.
It got to the point where my teacher was like, and I don't know what all scales he was using, but it got to the point where he was on like 80 or 90 scales, and they're like, dude, you don't have to keep going. You're already in first place. He's like, no, if I'm going to win, I'm going to win big. And he just kept going and going. And they're just sat there listening, and he's like, okay. They're like, well, the new record is it was like 107 or some stuff like that. Different scales that he managed to pull out between all your blues scales and your pentatonic scales and your majors and your minors and all that extra stuff. And I don't know what all he got into, and because I know there's tons and tons and tons of technical scales that you can follow, but for their rules, it basically ended up being 100 and something different scales, and the second place was only like 80. So by the time he won, he was over like 20 scales ahead. They're like, no, you don't need to do any more. He's like, oh no, if I'm gonna beat everybody, I'm gonna beat him right. I'm gonna drill him to the ground. So my brain can't even fathom that many scales beyond all your regular majors and minors. My brain stops there. I like his style, exactly. The same teacher likes listening to piano music but was never good at piano. So when he had to perform on the piano for his major, they allowed a performance with it. They allowed, you to play the piano for some kind of dance or something. So his dance was a dude in a chicken costume dancing as annoyingly as he could, so that everyone would be distracted by the chicken and not realize his terrible piano playing. So basically, he's the reason there's a new rule that you can no longer have a performance go along with your piano playing. You have to play it solo. Because the teacher walked up to him at the end of the performance and was like, I know what you did, and it was a genius idea, and you're getting a good grade, but I just want you to know that it's never going to happen again. Because it happens all the time too, is you use a really eye-catching performance to drown out something that's not as good. Kind of like advertisements. Advertisements do it all the time. They put like 99% off, and then there's the little asterisk in the corner, But that was hilarious. He told us that story a couple times. Here's some music that is technically in the game and no one will ever be able to find. This is the testing room music. It is purposely designed to sound like crap. It does not have any kind of key signature or anything, M. So if you're looking at this and your brain hurts and you're getting ready to pull your hair out, don't. It was designed to look like stupid. I use fancy choreography and dance numbers to cover bad chorus vocals in every musical I direct. Exactly. And no one ever notices because they're paying attention to the dancing. This testing room music, M, if this is hurting your brain, it's designed to look like that. Jazz hands, baby. I fucking love jazz hands. And spirit fingers. But jazz hands. I was in jazz band. I gotta do the jazz hands. This testing room music is literally, I just pushed random keys on the keyboard in random orders and added random sharps and flats everywhere. And then randomly changed the dynamics. So you get something that sounds absolutely horrible. Like this. Everybody, put your hands together for the testing room music. That was like a Mario level that went very wrong. Yes, that's basically what it's supposed to sound like. And basically Brandon's like, you just need to make some really messed up music that sounds like it doesn't belong. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I just went to my physical computer keyboard and went.
That's funny.
So he's like, actually, that sounds pretty good. I'm like, good, because it wasn't supposed to. So we're actually going to launch RPG Maker right now. Oh, actually, we're going to launch Steam really quick and make sure that Brandon isn't currently developing in the game, because I don't want to override anything he's doing, and he is not good.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Yes. We're actually going to go to the testing area real quick to show you guys.
Behind the scenes.
I know. And it is technically accessible even in the Steam version of the game. However, just like the dev chicken, no one will ever find it. Here we go. Oh, Jesus, I'm hearing double. I'm hearing you, and then I'm hearing Captain Wily.
Hey, land ho! I'm Captain Wily. Thanks for sailing with me. This is our last stop. It's time to get off. Well...
Oh, dude. Well, this voice.
This is the end of the line, kid.
I love this voice, man. Seriously.
You said you wanted to hunt alchemists. I don't really get much into politics these days.
I just imagine him.
I know there's some alchemists.
Again, he's been a ship captain for a long time.
Yeah.
I just thought, well, maybe he kind of, he's seen a lot of the world and kind of had that kind of voice and
seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
To put it simply.
Yeah.
He's been out in the weather. He's been out in the storms, and he's been out in the. Yeah, definitely. So here's the testing room, and you guys will never know how to get in here. But here's the testing room. It is literally designed to look like trash. But here it is. This is the achievement beaver. He says, "Psst, hey kid, you want an achievement? They're totally legit, I swear." And your options are cancel or all of them. I'm a glutton. And it was from when that's super Canadian. Oh God. Basically, this was for when we were testing Steam achievements, because we were trying for so long to get them to work, and they would not work. For the life of us, they would not work. So we finally got them to work. So now me, Brandon, and my brother are the only 3 people to have all the Steam achievements to the game, because talking to him literally gives you every single achievement. He says, well, okay then, but you've got to wait a while for them all to work. And you literally basically end up stuck there for however long.
Will this achievement beaver have a voice?
I mean, I'm sure he could. I don't know. I almost want to make him have like an Animal Crossing voice.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool, because he's a beaver.
Right.
The talking beaver, and 2, like it would go along with the testing room garbly-gook sound.
My brain just exploded.
It is a beaver, yes.
Yes.
You now have every achievement as of, this is the last time we added an achievement, March 3rd. So, and then you can actually leave by going through this rip in space-time over here in the corner. Yes, see where you want to go. And I actually used this when I was taking screenshots. It probably would have a Canadian accent. I want to do the beaver. Elven Ranger, if you want to do the beaver, you can do the beaver. I will let you do the beaver.
Woo! There you go, Elven.
I don't quite know. I wanted to make it sound like Animal Crossing, so if you just want to speak random, like, nonsense gibberish words, and I will speed it up so it sounds like Animal Crossing. 'Cause I'm pretty sure that's what they do, is they speed up the voice.
Yeah,
so I will look up how they do it and what I need from you, and I will get back to you, Elven Ranger, with what I need from you. That's a statement I didn't think I was going to hear tonight. I want to do... Oh, God. So, this is also the basically best way to teleport yourself around the world when you're testing, is like, if you want to go straight to Casperg, boom, you're in Casperg. And it just puts you just in the middle of everything.
You guys are clever with this. This is awesome.
So, yeah. Elven Ranger, I'll let you know what I need as far as a character for that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is the dude that, you sent me a voice for, Ryan. I still need to put that in there. That's something I can do real quick. The townsperson says, have you ever been in the basement of the inn? People say there's gamblers down there. Sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need to put him in. And I also need to put the Herald voice in there. That's something I can do tonight.
That was such a cool character. The townsperson, like, just like, because I just used my normal voice. I was like, and yeah, like, it just, that was just, again, a really, really cool opportunity. I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. Like, and this is like, back to everyone else who sent us voice acting, demos and auditions. There's some people that may not want, a major role. And there's a ton of these just minor roles sitting around, like this guy. He's got basically one line, maybe eventually it'll change. Well, there's going to be a ton of characters that are basically, 1 or 2 lines or whatever. And they're not major characters, they're minor characters. And they're just, so if you want a role, you want to get your voice out there, but you don't really want something like this, this guy. He's just another homeless guy. He's basically got a gambling addiction. He says, those damn dice. Those goddamn dice took everything. And you can accuse him and say, that's your fault. And say, the dice? That's your fault. Oh, and he doesn't say anything. I guess I didn't add any other... Yeah, I didn't add any more dialogue to him, I guess. But, basically, that's,
And sorry, what town is this in?
This is Casperg.
Casperg, got it.
Yes.
So this is where Mayor Ogenhart is.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep. So Mayor Ogenhart is first time you meet him is in here. Yes. Afraid I've got some disturbing news. I just got word that I believe I told you last time. I expect to be called Mr.
I
Cabello.
believe I told you last.
Oh, I forgot.
time.
This is actually voice acting.
I expect to be called Mr. Cobellin. Don't make that mistake again.
Yes, very prim and proper and way above where he should be, but he just perfect example of a guy who is sitting there with his top hat and his pinky out, and treats people like crap because he's rich.
Right.
So, but that's the character, so I actually need to do a little bit of work to that dialogue. We actually need more lines from him, too. That's, one of Brandon's old co-workers, actually. He's also a streamer. If you guys ever are on Mixer, if you guys check out Drolk, let's see if he's actually streaming right now. Let's see. I think it might be Drulk Gaming, DRULK. Let's see, how do I search who's actually streaming here?
You guys are still on the stream?
Hey, yes we are. Hi, Brandon.
Hey. How are you,
Hello.
Brandon?
Good.
Good to have you, Brandon. What are you up to, man?
Just got back from Buddha's cow purchase.
Nice.
Oh.
Sweet. Yeah, we're just chatting. We were doing a little bit of music, and we've just been kind of hanging out for the past little bit. So, it's been fun, though.
Absolutely. It's been a blast.
Yeah, I would have joined you, but I was busy.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're
Sounded
good.
like you were about to raid somebody.
No. I was just wondering if Dakota was still, if I could find him on Mixer, and for whatever reason I can't. It won't let you
No.
search channels on Mixer. But I was talking about how he was doing the voice of Cabellin.
He wasn't doing. He moved off of Twitch and went to Mixer.
Yeah.
Now he switched off of Mixer? I'm so confused with him.
Sorry, Mixer? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's a new streaming platform.
Oh.
It's by Microsoft. It's
It's decent.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
it's a lot smaller community than Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
We
if we
ended up-
moved over to Mixer, we would be the only RPG Maker people there.
Probably, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is one of the reasons we didn't, because we didn't want to gamble on whether we'd find anyone over there. And we're doing well on Twitch simply because the niche of RPG Maker is so small on Twitch. This is Dakota. If you guys are looking for someone who does really chill stuff in Animal Crossing and Fortnite and Pokemon MMO, and he does a lot of different stuff. So if you guys are interested in checking him out, he's really pretty cool.
Absolutely.
That's his YouTube. I'm sure his Mixer is somewhere, but for whatever reason I can't find his Mixer. So there's his YouTube. Oop, my pop filter is hitting my microphone. What's up, Brandon? How you been doing tonight?
Oh, you know, just hanging out.
That's cool. That's what we've been up to.
Yeah.
I made some
We've been just chilling.
I made a dark version of Saffron Town, and I made a happy version of Runebend.
Alrighty.
And I made a very basic version, a very basic start to music for the Crucible. I'm not happy with it yet, but eventually
Yeah,
Eventually it'll be there.
It'll probably need some tuning, but we'll get there.
So, I mean, I have this is literally all I have. I don't know if you're probably not watching the stream. I have 5 measures of the Crucible.
I am
So-
only in Discord right now.
Yeah. So I have 5 measures written. Not even that. Basically 4 measures. So basically nothing written as far as the Crucible is
You got some
concerned.
notes there.
Yeah, I got something there. So
Raven, spot it.
how's your cat doing, Brandon?
Hi, Raven.
Oh, you know, she's being crazy like normal.
I think I am about to cut it though. We are at a little over 3 hours. We have been going for a bit, so so I think I am about to cut it here. I thank you guys all for joining me. We are actually gonna raid. We're gonna raid Supadish.
Heyo.
Because he's streaming, and we love Supadish because he's thanks for chatting. Hope you have a good evening. Thank you, Em. I appreciate you, and we'll get to you soon on your voice audition. And everybody else, we'll get to you on your voice audition pretty soon. We are going to start a raid for Supadish. Eventually, I'm just gonna do it in the dashboard, I guess, since the chat button is broke for doing that. We're gonna start a raid channel. Super Dish. Start raid. Here we go. All right, everybody. Let's give Super Dish some love. He's a good guy. He's pretty cool. Let's all right, we're raiding. Let's do it. All right. That should be